First, I'd like to say thank you for purchasing from Medicines by Lily. Second, I would like to thank you so much for being patient with me. The last couple of weeks, I've kind of had a really long bad luck streak. Basically, anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I got scheduled to work Tuesday. Well, I had to switch my schedule around, so I had to work yesterday, the day I was supposed to do this for you. Today I had to go up to the hospital to get a heart monitor, a temporary heart monitor. And right after that, I got into my first car accident. So today has just been, to sum up the last couple of weeks, and today it's just been one disaster after another. So I thank you so much for being patient with me. I know that you've had to wait a ridiculous amount of time for this reading. Usually it only takes me a couple of days. So I thank you so much. Let me go ahead and show you what I've got out today. Over here, as always, I have my little tea light candle to represent spirit. Yours, mine, God, goddess, just spirit in general. My selenite tower, which attracts all kinds of positive energies. Black tourmaline to deflect negativity and kind of create a barrier around the reading table. Aquamarine for communication. This is a very unique crystal. It is a type of black granite, and for me this stone represents the masculine principle, or the male. Amethyst for psychism and clairvoyance. And right here I have rose quartz, which is used for love, self-love, general healing. But to me it also represents the feminine principle, or the female. Right in front of that I have my little turquoise representing the divine. Lapis lazuli to represent truth, or, getting to the heart of the matter. Peacock ore for overcoming obstacles. Howlite for wisdom and kind of earth connection, spiritual connection, all that good stuff. Gold tiger's eye for courage and perseverance, energy, strength, all of that good stuff. Rainbow fluorite to balance energies. A little piece of garnet right here for grounding. And my clear quartz crystal for clarity. And over here, you can't see it very well, but I did kind of get it into the picture a little bit. I have a stick of sage incense burning. When I was picking out the cards and crystals and incense for your reading, that is the one that really jumped out at me, the sage. And I asked my guides why, and they said that you just really need to kind of cleanse the energy around you. Cleanse your aura, cleanse your home space, your workspace, just kind of clear out any old or stagnant, maybe even negative energies that have been hanging around. And sage is also really good for cleansing your inner energy, so your thoughts, your emotions, all of that. And it's also a very protective herb, so if you happen to have any sage that you might be able to burn around in your home, it might help a lot. The deck that I picked for you today is the Earth Magic deck by Dr. Stephen Farmer, and this is one of my absolute favorite decks to work with. It is so beautiful, and it's mystical, but at the same time it's very grounded in earth energy, hence why it is called Earth Magic. So instead of wasting time shuffling, I already did that, so the deck is ready, so we can go ahead and start doing your reading. And the first card represents you. We have Milky Way, perspective. So this is one of those cards I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, just because it is such a broad, it has such a broad interpretation. The Milky Way is our home. Okay, it is where the earth resides, and we reside on the earth. So it is where our home is. It is where everything that that we love and everything that we look to, the stars, the sun, the moon, the other planets, all of that is within this one galaxy, within the Milky Way. And when we look at the Milky Way, when we get satellite images and we actually stop and look at it and we consider that it is not the only one, we get a whole new perspective, where on Earth we only see what is around us rather than what is beyond us. And having this card represent you, I think that you are the kind of person that, like me, you go through all different kinds of scenarios and look at things from a bunch of different angles before you really make a decision. And that can be a very good thing, to be analytical like that and kind of look at all of the options before finalizing anything. Waiting for your intuition to tell you, hey, this is a good idea, or no, this is something you should probably just walk right by. That can be a really good thing, but it can also cause a lot of confusion within the spirit. And so with that confusion, a lot of times we do have to try to find a perspective that we haven't come across yet, that we haven't considered yet. So having this card represent you, that's where I think you're at right now, is you're going through all of these different scenarios in your mind. You're looking at the relationship from 100 different angles and trying to figure out whether it's really worth it to keep fighting for it, or if it would just be best to move on. And that's a pretty good place to be, because that is where you are going to find the most true answers for you, is in that place. So, alrighty, card 2 represents the other person. And we have Eagle, Communion. This is such a beautiful card. The author of this deck, he incorporated a lot of Native American spirituality into it, and most, if not all, tribes, nations, they consider eagle to be a symbol for the Great Spirit, or, Creator God. And when you stop and really listen, or you go out and really pay attention, you kind of get the messages a little bit clearer. When you slow down what you're doing and open your psychic ears, your psychic eyes, open your heart, you get more messages, more clear messages than you would just going about your daily life. And I think this card representing, your significant other, he is a very spiritual individual, even if he doesn't show it on a daily basis, even if he doesn't, talk about it or wear, like me, I like to wear my pentacle because I am Wiccan. And I know a lot of other people that do that. A lot of Christians like to wear crosses because to represent their spirituality. And, even if your significant other doesn't like to show it, I think that he is a very, very spiritual person. And it's very possible that the decision that he made to terminate the relationship, at least for the time being, was spiritually guided. I don't know if it was his guides or if it was, somebody, an outside spirit stepping in and just kind of messing with you guys. I got the feeling the last reading that I did for you that he is very in tune with his intuition, that he's very in tune with his psychic abilities. And so it is very possible that an outside spirit has come in and, given him false advice. So let's go ahead and keep going with the reading and see if that comes up again. Card number 3 is what you bring to the relationship. And we have Dragonfly, Emergence. So this is another one of my absolute favorite cards. Dragonfly is not a totem or an animal that I particularly work with, but I do know a lot of people that do, and Dragonfly is a very, very, very spiritual animal, or insect, I guess. Dragonfly is kind of the symbol for coming out of your shell. It's not necessarily transformation, like butterfly would be, but when Dragonfly is born, what they do is they come out of the water, and so they do go through a transition, but it's not so much a personal transformation as a coming out into the world. And this is what you bring to the relationship. You bring the opportunity for a positive change, a positive transition, and just the realization of beauty. That's the phrase I keep getting in my mind, is the realization of beauty. And that is what you bring to the relationship as an individual. So the next card represents what he brings to the relationship. And we have crystals, focus, but it is inverted. So let me show it to you upright. But this card is inverted, which is significant. The way that I interpret inverted cards is a little bit different than a lot of readers actually do it. Whereas they will see a polar energy, I see a blockage in energy. And so this card tells me that he lacks focus in the relationship right now. It is not the center of his goals, which would be fine, except that in a relationship, it affects both people. And I'm feeling what he really, really needs is the time to, to be able to take the time to reconnect with his own spirit. Not necessarily his spirituality, because he's already very in tune with that, but to reconnect with his own spirit. To reconnect with his roots and where it is that his spiritual heart lies. Whether it's in the earth, if it's, in the sky, if it is within another person, if it is within the stars, just wherever his spiritual heart is, I feel like he needs to be able to take the time and reconnect. Because if he doesn't, then his focus is never going to be on the relationship. So, okay. Let's go ahead and look at the next card, and we have, it is what you want from the relationship. And we have love, compassion. This card kind of speaks for itself. When this card shows up, it's just an indication of, love, romance, friendship, the relationship between parent and child, because love is such a broad term. It covers a lot of different things. But the key word on this card is compassion. And what compassion is love without judgment. A compassionate person will, just for example, not everybody does this, and it's okay because not everybody can, but for example, a compassionate person will stop on the street and give a homeless person their shoes, or give them a $5 gift card to go to McDonald's and get something to eat. It's that showing love to someone without judging them for their past or their situation or And that is what you want out of the relationship. Whatever baggage you have to bring to the relationship, whether it's issues with your parents, issues with an ex, or, work-related problems, whatever baggage that you have to bring to the relationship, what you're looking for is somebody that will show you the love and kindness within the relationship without judging you for it. And a true romantic relationship is going to be compassionate. It's going to be non-judgmental. It's going to be non-conceited. It's going to be all-inclusive, basically. Whatever it is that you bring, whatever it is that he brings, you both would have to embrace it. And so that is what you are looking for within the relationship. The next card is what he wants from the relationship. And we have Iceberg, Submerged. So I've noticed that this card tends to have like 100 different meanings depending on where it shows up in a spread. Excuse me. But with this reading, I'm feeling this card, he wants that feeling of total inclusion, I guess is what, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. He wants the feeling of being completely surrounded within the relationship. Being completely surrounded by you, by your heart, by his own emotions, by a possible home that you guys would make together. He wants that feeling of just being totally submerged within the relationship, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Which, in a way, kind of counterbalances what you want, but at the same time, the way that he's seeing it is taking it to a whole nother level. You guys are very, very much the typical like yin-yang kind of relationship, where you balance each other out. And the desires that you both have, I don't think that you really see it when you're together, which is fine. I mean, that's what relationships are for. They're meant to be worked on and built upon and made better for the two people that are involved. So, okay. The next card is how you see him. Oh, we have Summer Solstice, Radiance. Yes, I did just go, oh. But, in the Wiccan calendar, the summer solstice is the time when the god kind of emerges and realizes his own masculinity. He basically becomes a man. Okay? And if this is how you are seeing him, there's not really a whole lot more that you can give him in terms of love, because you're there. You're at that divine place of love where you want to give, but there's not really a whole lot more that you can give. You've already given him your heart, your time, your words, your energy, all of that. And to him, seeing this card, to him, or to you rather, he is kind of like the sun. He is the guiding light that also happens to fuel your spirit. Because the sun feeds the earth, which grows the plants that we eat and that the animals eat, and it's the seed that fertilizes the earth, more or less. And so the cards, what they're doing right now is they're comparing you and him to the moon and the sun, which is beyond romantic. And I did not plan any of that out. It just happened, which is really, really cool. But yeah. So the way that you see him is is really, really sweet and just very, he's that solar power, that masculine energy, just all man, you know, and it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So the next card is how he sees you. And we have Wolf, Instinct. So I know that the key term on this card is instinct, but the first impression that I got was the way that he sees you is kind of the pathfinder. The wolf totem or wolf animal, a lot of times the message that wolf carries is the pathfinder. And what that means is that wolf kind of guides you to the path that is best for you. Kind of guides you to the decisions that are best for your highest good. And the thing about animal totems and spirit guides and all of that is most of the time the paths and decisions that they lead you to will have no inherent negative effect on the people around you. The people around you may interpret it as such, but it won't actually have a negative impact. So if this is how he is seeing you, as the instinctual wolf, you know, kind of that loving, familiar, pathfinder kind of energy, I think he still wants you in his life, even if it's not as a romantic partner right now. I'm trying to listen, but okay. Okay. So the next card is the bridge card, which is how your energies work together within the relationship. And we have ocean, ebb and flow. Here again we see a balancing card between the two of you. I described the energy that I feel from you in terms of the relationship as kind of that yin-yang. You guys balance each other out. And this is another balancing card. The ocean ebbs and it flows. The tide comes in and it goes out. Another thing that I think I need to point out is the ocean does this, the ebb and flow, by the pull of the moon. And this card right here, the way that he sees you as the wolf, wolf will howl at the moon because wolf loves the moon. Okay? The moon is wolf's mother, guiding light, grandmother, sister, but the moon is also the sun's lover. And so you can't have balance on this earth without the two of them. And so it is just incredible to me that this is how he would see you, how your energies would work together, is this ebb and flow of energy, which isn't always easy, but it does happen. And when you let go and let it happen, that's when it becomes easy. Is just that exchange of energy that will occur when you let go and say, okay, you know, I'm just going to do my thing and hope that it works. And 9 times out of 10 it will. The universe will find a way to make it work. But like I said, you know, I got the feeling that you guys kind of balance each other out, and this card confirms it, which I think is pretty cool. So alrighty. Cards 10, 11, and 12 represent the future or the potential future of the relationship. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll draw them one by one and kind of go over them, and then I'll look at them, I'll look at all 3 of them towards the end as a whole. So the first one is Ceremony, Invocation. So this card a lot of times can indicate a ritual of some kind, like a baptism or awakening, an initiation or anything like that. But it could also represent a wedding or a small commitment ceremony, that kind of thing. I'm anxious to see what the next two cards are, because I don't know what to think about this one. Bringing in ceremony. But the ceremony is always a very sacred thing. It does involve some kind of commitment, whether it's just a small ritual or wedding ceremony, commitment ceremony, baptism, anything like that. It always involves some kind of commitment. And through that commitment, it is always made sacred. So alrighty, the next one with it is music or harmony. And this is another one of my favorite cards because it is such a good positive omen. Music is one way that humans find harmony in being together, because music is kind of a catalyst between people. But if music is not something that works for you guys, it is merely an art form. It could be any kind of art form that could bring harmony to the relationship, whether you guys write, dance, you actually sing or play music. If you simply enjoy going to art shows or anything like that, expressing love through an art form such as music is just one way to bring harmony to a relationship, but also to bring harmony within an individual. I know that a lot of studies have been done on music, but certain frequencies actually can get you into a higher state of consciousness, and so it can bring harmony into your heart. It can kind of balance your personal energies out. And once those personal energies are balanced, then the energy between you and another person will in turn become more balanced. And so the more balanced the other person is, the more balanced the relationship will be. If that makes any sense. Alrighty, the final card, we have Tree, Grounding. So I brought up grounding earlier in terms of your significant other, that it is something that he really probably needs to do right now, is to ground himself and kind of get back in touch with his own spirit and where his spiritual heart is. Whether it is an earth religion or a Christian religion, Catholic, anything like that. Actually, I have a few Jewish friends. I have a lot of friends that practice Native American spirituality. I have a lot of friends that practice witchcraft. I do have a lot of Christian friends. I've met a lot of Buddhists, a lot of Taoists. It's whatever his spiritual heart needs, that is what he needs to pay attention to right now. And that includes grounding himself and kind of getting back in touch with his roots. And so right now, it may not be the right time to pursue the relationship as a romantic relationship, but I don't think that you should give up on it. That's the way that you guys see each other and the way that you clearly feel about each other and the fact that you balance each other out so well. I do think the relationship is worth fighting for, just maybe not as a romantic relationship at this time, because he needs the time to figure himself out. And so what you can do is take that time to kind of get yourself back in harmony too. And then when you both are in the same place spiritually, it would be time to look back at the relationship being a romantic one. I know that that's probably not the news that you wanted, but that's the feeling I'm getting from these cards, is that right now is not the time for it to be a romantic relationship, but that you shouldn't rule it out either. And as far as the timing goes, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be 3 days that he needs, you know. So while he's doing his thing, do yours, and, you know, try to stay friends, because the relationship is worth fighting for, even if it's not a romantic relationship right now. So I really, really, truly hope that this helps, and I thank you so much for your patience. I really do apologize that it took so long. Just a lot of things have been happening all at once in the last couple of weeks, and it's beyond my control. I've been trying so hard to get everything back in order, but it just isn't working. So I thank you so much, and thank you for purchasing from Medicines by Lily. I really do hope this helps, and I am sending you tons of love and light and wishing you the best. Thank you so much. I hit it.